When I first let those cows out, it wasn't easy to let them out because plenty of people stopped on the road and said, "Hey, your cows are out." And I said, "Oh, I know they are." When we started, we just were milking cows conventionally. We'd bring the feed to the cows, they would poop and pee, and then we'd have to haul it out. It was the way I was brought up, it's what I learned in college, and that's the way you farmed. Well, fortunately in '93, I got bit by the grazing bug. And I kind of said, you know what? I've been looking for a long time at a way to make farming different. Rotational grazing is something that's actually been around since maybe the 40s. But back then it was a little different than it is today. They would let cows into a 10-acre field and let them graze it. They might move them after a week into another 10-acre field, and they would call that rotational grazing, which for the time it was good. Well, today what we do is we use polywire and modern fencing equipment to break that down even further. Our farm is 137 acres. We milk approximately 80 crossbred cows, and we literally rotationally graze, manage the whole thing. We have 22 paddocks, and they're each about 3 acres in size. We'll go into that paddock and we'll string up a wire so that the cows have about 1 acre of pasture. We let the cows in for 10, 12 hours. They will graze that. Then they come back to milk. While they're back at the barn, they run out, take the wire down, move it down so that they get about another acre of fresh grass. We always have living, growing grass and clovers and legumes growing on the pastures. And the cows literally spend 90% of the year out on the pastures. So 90% of the manure is out in the pasture where it gets broken down and is really not that susceptible to erosion because of the growth we have out there. We can start grazing our cows about the middle of April. And by managing everything properly, that allows us to graze to about the 1st of December. The cows can go out in the rain, they go out in dry weather, they harvest it all. They do all that work for me. What's really neat about that is how much labor it saves us and how much money it saves us. That gets to the core of what our farm is all about is, one, being sustainable profitably, and also just physically and in a labor way, make it so that we're not killing ourselves working so hard from sunup to sundown. The other big difference is now my cows only produce about 10,000 pounds of milk per cow per year, half as much as what they were before. Most people in modern agriculture would say, "You're crazy, it doesn't work." But it does work for one simple reason. We've controlled our costs. Now, when the price goes up, I'll still be making good money, but because I don't produce as much milk, I won't be making tons of money. But that's not my objective. My objective is to make money year in and year out in a way that satisfies my lifestyle. You know, here we are today, 35 years later, and we own the farm outright. We've raised 4 kids here, and we have a daughter that wants to take over, and that's pretty special. Pretty special to be able to say that.